Let's talk about a very common cue that you may hear at Get Fit New Hampshire, and that is to tuck your ribs down or hide your rib cage. So for a lot of exercises like a pull-off press or an overhead press, we often see a rib flare. So your ribs are here, it's creating this divot in your low back. So there's two cues you may hear us say to try to correct that divot in the low back and that rib flare. The first one you might hear is to tuck the ribs or hide the ribs. And all that is doing, you'll watch what happens to my low back. As soon as I try to hide those ribs from you and tuck them down, that immediately brings me into a nice and strong position there where my hips are tucked and my ribs are down. Oftentimes you might hear us say to tuck the hips, but that you'll watch it does the same thing. If I'm gonna go ahead and tuck my hips under to get that divot out of my low back, I tuck the hips, and what does that do? It brings the rib cage down. So for exercises like a pull-off press or an overhead press or even the top of your deadlift, where you might be in this extended position, you may hear us say tuck your ribs, tuck your hips, hide your ribs. All those cues are just trying to get you in that nice strong position at the top so you're not leaning back in the low back, so you're not putting the stress on your low back. So if you hear us say that, this is what we are seeing and this is how you correct it. Ribs down, hide them, do that little crunch, everything stays locked in so that you're making your core work for it.